Welcome back to Assembly Hall, where Jordan Guskey and I, Alex McCarthy, have spent most of our day. We got here at noon for the women's game, which they won 88 to 56, and then we were just at the men's game, which ended in an 88 to 49 IU victory. So some consistency there, at least with the offensive output for both teams. Pretty dominant effort for Indiana tonight. This one, I mean, they looked better tonight than they did in like the exhibitions, which I guess is the kind of the point where you work out all the kinks in the exhibition games and then kind of start hitting your stride, or at least start looking like your regular season self once you get to the regular season. But just a totally dominant on the boards. Indiana out rebounded them 51 to 17, 21 offensive rebounds, which again when you're missing shots and um, you know but then extending possessions, you're going to score a ton. I guess what stood out to you tonight, Jordan? There were a few things.
Well, first off, like when coming into the year, we talked about how important the size of Bielefeld and Thomas
Mm.
would be, and tonight it showed. They were dominant on the boards, as they were in most of the exhibition, most of the time during the exhibition games. They out rebounded Eastern Illinois tonight, 51 to 17. That's incredible.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, if you look, I think yeah, so a lot of them had at least 7 rebounds, and it was the guards too. It wasn't just the big
right,
guys. It was the
right,
guards were getting there too. Blackman had 7 rebounds. That was something that we didn't see in the exhibition matchups. I think he had 0 in one game. So
yeah,
coming in and seeing that everybody was rebounding, Bielefeld talked about in the postgame that it was a total team effort that they were able to out rebound Eastern Illinois by so much. And then you got guys coming off the bench. Crean talked about this about wanting the team to be too deep, and Robert Johnson and Bielefeld coming off the bench
right,
showed that they really can have various lineups and still find success. And when in the last exhibition game they weren't able to do that, this game showed. In the second half, there really wasn't much of a drop off. They
yeah,
didn't. They weren't outscored in the second half. They got it done.
right. And there's Eastern Illinois had a little bit more success in the second half scoring the ball. Just, it's kind of natural when one team is up by an insane amount. I mean, IU was up 49 to 17 at halftime, and they kept playing hard. I mean, you mentioned Thomas Bryant's effort tonight. He should have had a double double. He only played 19 minutes because he's on a minute limit because of his foot. But he had 11 rebounds or 11 points and 9 rebounds. If he had played like a normal amount, he would have easily had a double double. And he made a few really nice plays, a few really nice rebounds. There was a huge dunk on the north end where he kind of he was hanging on the rim because there was a guy below him, and then he got off and kind of taunted him, and he got teed up, and everyone at Assembly Hall was going crazy and chanted his name. But surprisingly, before Thomas Bryant had his name chanted in Assembly Hall, OG Ananobi became kind of a fan favorite tonight. He was another one of those guys off the bench who didn't put up dazzling numbers. 6 points, 2 rebounds, 3 for 5 shooting, but he looked good. His first basket was an and one layup, which got people jazzed, got people going. So um, a very encouraging effort from him, obviously. And then Juwan Morgan played sparingly, but didn't really make any mistakes throughout the game. Ananobi kind of took all his minutes, which I mean that's kind of what you want if you're Indiana. You want one guy to assert himself. Whether it's the same guy every game or it's one of the two of them every game. So encouraging efforts kind of all around. A bunch of players scored. There were 6 people in double digits, so it was a pretty well balanced effort. But then obviously there are things that they're going to want to fix in each of the 3 games so far in the 2 exhibitions, and then tonight. Indiana has committed more turnovers than they have assisted. I think it was 18 assists and 19 turnovers against Ottawa, 9 assists and 13 turnovers against Bellarmine, and then tonight they had 15 assists and 16 turnovers. So that's something obviously that you want kind of reversed if you're Indiana. And 11 players turned the ball over tonight. It wasn't like there was one guy who was just really careless with the ball. It was kind of everybody had a moment or two where they kind of lapsed. So obviously there are little areas of improvement, things like that. But I mean, 3 games in, well, kind of. I mean, 1 game in, but kind of 3 games after seeing this team. What are your thoughts so far? I mean, what do you view as kind of the biggest strength of this team so far, just through what we've seen so far?
I think it's the Hoosiers' ability to kind of to play in and play out. We see a lot of teams they try to do like a driving kick, but what IU's been able to do is they've been able to work the ball into the post. You use guys like Bielfeld and Bryan to really push the defense back in, and then that'll open up some of the jump shots that throughout their 2 exhibition games and their first regular season game. With Yogi Ferrell kind of leading it all, they've been able to have really good ball movement. They've kept the defense off their feet. I don't know how many times I've said it in the stories that I've written about this team this story, but they don't let defenses get set, and that's huge. You don't let the defense get comfortable. They don't really know what's next. Green talked about post game that when teams are trying to drop defenses against IU, it doesn't really work because the plays that IU does don't look like how they're supposed to when you kind of see it drawn up when you see it in its original form. And that's huge. If you're able to use your guys inside to open up your game outside, and also use the strength outside, because they shot 52.5% from the field today, and that's really good.
Yeah.
You probably won't lose many games if you make over half your shots. So yeah, just being able to use inside and outside to create offense, and also just stay home on defense.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that, and being able to use different lineups, being kind of able to mix and match, I think that's really interesting, and that should make for a really fun kind of non-conference of figuring out, which lineups work together, which players work together, things like that. So I'm really intrigued to see how all those different lineups kind of interact with each other. But we'll get more of an idea of that, and we'll see where this team moves forward next time we're here. I don't even know when it's Monday, maybe.
13th,
The
16th.
Yeah. So today it's Friday the 13th.
Well, we are here today.
That's true. But yeah, we'll be back here soon. Obviously, we'll be at Memorial Stadium tomorrow, so you'll see our faces very soon once again. But thanks for watching tonight. That's Jordan Gusky. This is Alex McCarthy, and have a good weekend.